is Kamala Harris actually a demon? I've seen photographs and pictures of that. Her eyes go all black. And I've only ever seen that in the supernatural television.
I believe it, 100%.
So, again, we may actually be able to present proof that Kamala Harris is.
Everybody wants to be something they're not and have shit they ain't got. Don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. Just be nice. You don't have to be that guy. Show some respect. Just be a person. Love one another.
Okay. We ready?
I've been ready.
Born ready?
Yep.
I feel like we were born to do this series on conspiracies.
Yeah, I think so. I think I was born for it.
In case you didn't know, we have the farther we've dived into ourselves, the more we've come to be skeptical about the official narratives that are provided to us. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel far more secure with this hat on.
Yes.
I feel like I'm protected.
And connected.
And I feel more powerful.
It's all in the spine.
Now we're out of frame.
So we're fucking framed up to be in fucking America's posture.
We are framed to be American posture.
What a coincidence.
That's pretty accurate.
That's called learning right there.
Like a full 6 inches. That's what she said.
I'm so tall.
No, seriously though, is that way too out of frame?
Because it really is all in the spine.
Oh, you're good. You look good over here.
Okay. You look good over there. Dustin may not be commenting too much during this episode because he's
been censored by us for various reasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it's conspiracy against Dustin.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy against the Brain Snacks podcast perpetrated by one Cameron Fleener. I'm looking at the camera for that one, by the way. Yeah.
The camera Fleener?
The Cameron Fleener. Fleener of the Velcro Pygmies.
I'm editing his promo video.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's hustling. And you know what? I know he's not lying because I was there when he recorded it last night. So we were in Rome, Georgia playing a show, and Cam was just like, hey, we need to shoot a promo video for one of the venues we're playing.
And now
it's interfering with my Brain Snacks time.
He was going to get a camera today.
Yeah, right.
So.
Right. Yeah. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
We'll got off one more time.
We'll get cameras on you guys for when we actually break into the official conspiracies.
What's Andrew doing over there? Not sure.
Andrew's got the F button,
oh,
and
right.
he's monitoring the footage. He's an integral part of
I just
this,
said, by the way, process. I didn't see your finger go. It's not the time to do it.
Whoa. You.
Oh my God.
It's just like, yep, I said flags everywhere. But no, welcome to season 2. We will be diving into conspiracy theories and whether or not they have plausibility or not. And typically, Occam's razor is the simplest. The simplest answer is usually the correct one.
Agreed.
The one that makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. The least far-fetched.
Yep.
So, I mean...
Smell test.
I would love to think that lizard people are running the government, but I don't know if that's very plausible yet.
Mm.
We won't be starting with aliens. We are actually... there are a lot of conspiracy theories budding out of this last couple years. Starting with QAnon, which we're not going to go into the conspiracies today. But people are labeled conspiracy theorists because they don't believe the mainstream narrative. Or they don't agree with that mainstream narrative. So you're automatic, if you disagree and you present facts that support your idea or hypothesis about a certain situation, you're automatically labeled a conspiracy theorist. And then because of the prevalence of conspiracy theories on the internet, and there are some wild, crazy shit out there.
It's actually probably helped them.
Yeah,
it's helped their argument.
Well, it's helped make people look insane.
Well, yeah, I mean, it like helps ordinary Americans call conspiracy theorists insane because of the oversaturated, insane theories that do exist and are available to you.
Oh yeah,
So it's just easier to
Mhm.
be like, yeah, I don't want to be one of those.
I mean, again,
know,
is the
it's as
government
simple as that.
controlled by benevolent lizard alien people?
Yes,
Probably. I don't know.
I've seen it.
I seen it. I seen it. And is Kamala Harris actually a demon? I've seen photographs and pictures of that. Her eyes go all black. And I've only ever seen that in the supernatural television
I believe
series.
it 100%.
So again, we may actually be able to present proof that Kamala Harris is a demon.
I'm wearing
Or
the
at
demon,
least,
I'm wearing the demon
At the
hat,
very least,
so I have
demon
better
possessed.
insight than you. On that.
your antennas are very in tune with the dark side, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
Mine
sucks over
mine
here.
is just like the coolest fin on the planet, and
Yeah.
it protects me from the aliens and the government reading my thoughts. Also, 5G.
Yep.
I'm really worried about 5G being used to manipulate me and make me into a very submissive slave. So this is my protection.
Yep.
This is my protection
And my connection.
and my connection. I got your connection right here.
I'm connected to the cosmos now.
Mhm. So it's so easy for the government or the
Quit
media,
making shit up.
the government or the media to just dismiss anything that differs with their narrative because they just branded a conspiracy theory.
Mhm.
I was like, well, there's no proof of it. And you can provide all the proof you want, and they'll just still say, well, that was just fabricated or that's misinterpreted. Well, whose interpretation is correct?
Right.
I mean, this is what our justice system is based on, is interpretation of the evidence and the facts. So is every jury going to come to the same conclusion about the same case when presented with the same facts?
No,
Well, I think
they're not.
well, they won't, depending on who's making the argument. So if you have a really good argument for why this conspiracy theory is bullshit, then yeah, you can sway the mass populace, the United States citizenry, or even the world. But if you have a terrible argument and you're trying to say that, I don't know, COVID-19 was made in a lab and was accidentally leaked, we're not going to say it was even strategically leaked on purpose, and that hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin actually worked to kill it. If you don't have enough power and convincing evidence to support that against something like the mainstream media
Mhm.
conglomerate and even government entities that may or may not have pharmaceutical ties, then it's really difficult to present your case to the American people or, the public in general worldwide in a convincing manner because they're bombarded constantly by this mainstream media narrative.
Luckily, that's going away. I think.
I think
That's one thing that'll help. Is that their power is actually dwindling.
the media's power
The mainstream
is definitely power. They are on their heels right now.
Right. So, yeah, you actually have a lot more trusted, podcasts. Like one of them's Brain
Snacks,
something like that. I don't
Brain
know.
snacks.
I don't know, but basically we just talk as just regular people, and we can admit whenever we're wrong or whenever we might not have all the information, and so maybe somebody listens to
a lot of the
us.
stuff that we're going to talk about, people have
It's not about
already
us.
researched and reported on, but not everybody is going to dive in and look at that research, or maybe that research. And this goes back to how it's presented. Maybe the case for the conspiracy theory wasn't presented in a way that people will take seriously.
I took you so seriously just now.
I know it's hard to take somebody seriously when they're wearing tinfoil hat.
I don't know why we wouldn't be taken seriously.
But honestly, this is just to make a point that because we have differing opinions, or in some cases, I'll actually agree with the mainstream narrative. Maybe they got it right.
Yeah.
And people are just absolutely
Well, they
off
have
the deep
to
end.
every now and then.
Yeah. And but that doesn't mean that I'm a conspiracy theorist through and through. Just because I believe in one conspiracy theory, and I would even go so far as to say it's a conspiracy fact, doesn't mean that I'm a flat earther or that I I believe that there's mole people running the world and the world is hollow.
They're not all interconnected.
Yeah. They're not all interconnected.
No.
Just because you believe in one doesn't mean that you believe in all of them. And just because I believe in one politician doesn't mean I believe in all of them.
Right.
And this attack on people with differing opinions, at least publicly, started back in the mid-1960s. There's a CIA document, and go ahead and set a marker for this right here. I want to bring it up on the screen for everyone to see on the that are actually watching the video. If you're not watching the show and just listening to the show, there will be a link in the description where you can click on it. But there's a CIA memo that basically outlined how to discredit people that disagreed with the Warren Commission. Now, the Warren Commission, for those of you still not following or don't have enough knowledge about what the Warren Commission was based on, the Warren Commission was created to explain the JFK assassination. So John Fitzgerald Kennedy, moited by Lee Harvey Oswald, lone gunman. That was the Warren Commission's finding after rigorous study and in-depth cover-ups, in-depth review of the evidence.
Yeah, we wouldn't have that.
And the American people,
to put it simply,
the American people weren't
people
having
who are
that.
wired like me.
Nobody, the majority of American society were clamoring for more answers. They didn't feel like the Warren Commission was completely open and honest. And most people didn't believe that Oswald wasn't a lone shooter. And the CIA actively worked on suppressing and discrediting anyone that would come out publicly saying that the Warren Commission was wrong. And that is manipulation of the masses on a different kind of nefarious level. And the CIA, they are no strangers to messing with Americans.
No.
The CIA formed, I believe it was in 47 or 48. Previously, it was after World War II. Previously, it was the OSS, the Operational Intelligence Security, OIS or something. But the CIA, from its inception, was pretty sketch. And I understand there's a necessity to have an agency like that in your government. Now, what kind of government oversight the CIA had at the time, or even currently has, is questionable. Because there are a lot of off-budget things that they do. There are a lot of things they do, again, to the American citizenry that some people may not believe they actually did, but are actually documented to have done. One of which is always fun to talk about because we like to make sex jokes, dick jokes. Operation Midnight Climax was something that they did in the 60s. It was a CIA operation where they operated a few brothels in Los Angeles, and they would bring in these Johns, business owners or whatever, to get some of that sweet punani, and they would dose them with LSD and see what happened. And ultimately, they wanted to know what these people would say when prompted and asked questions about their daily lives. Would they spill their deepest, darkest secrets while post-coitus and high, tripping their balls off?
Yeah.
Yeah. This happened. The CIA did this to unwitting American citizens. Next one, the majority of Americans have at least heard about it, but Project MKUltra, which was, there are multiple avenues that they took with MKUltra, but the best and most well known is MKUltra was designed to make the perfect sleeper agent. So if you could capture, at the time, again, this is during the Cold War in the 60s, you could capture a Russian intelligence operative, spy, whatever. And let's say that we are going to get him super baked, tripping his balls off all the time. He doesn't know what's real, what's wrong. And you brainwash him to the point where he doesn't remember anything whatsoever. And then you train him. There's a command word that he gets There's a phone call. He answers the phone, and it's Flibberty Gibbet is the magic code word, and it activates him, and he goes from being his normal super awesome Russian spy guy to now I'm a double agent, and I'm going to go off and I'm going to murder Khrushchev, who was running Russia or the Soviet Union at the time.
That's dark, dude.
And that's, again, they did this. They experimented. They didn't have all these Russian spies to start playing with.
Right.
So they started with American citizenry. And there are rumors, but we may cover in a future episode about like Charles Manson maybe being one of them that were involved. It was a potential MK Ultra subject. And the list goes on and on with the crazy crap that the CIA's done. But the CIA has also been involved in countless assassination attempts and successes over the course of the last 50, 60, 70, almost 70 years now. 60, yeah. We're going to go with 60 years. Minimum of 60 years. And the amount of change that can be accomplished by just taking out one world leader that doesn't want to play nice with America, or that if the regime is not as apt to agree with American policy and terms, well, just off them, take them out. Fidel Castro, I think it was 638 assassination attempts were made. I'm going to go out on a limb and say these guys suck at their job.
Yeah. Yeah.
To a degree. I mean, if you have to go after somebody for 638 attempts.
That's a lot.
I mean, I can't even count that high.
Like maybe at least about 3.
That's I mean,
maybe on the third, like we should learn.
Yeah.
Like what to do.
But the CIA, they have been known to do some really messed up stuff and known to deceive and mess with and harm American citizens.
Right.
So no matter how you want to try to balance the scales by saying, well, the ends justify the means because we had to do this so that we could go out and, fight communism. I was like, well, informed consent matters, especially in a free and democratic republic. If this is what we're supposed to be, how are we not made aware of what's going on? I can understand the necessity for operational security so that we can protect ourselves from outside threats. That's what our government is meant to do. But the CIA has been like off the deep end, bonkers crazy with
just all in their head about everything.
Yeah, all in our heads.
Yeah.
One other huge, because we talked about the media just a second ago. One other huge program that the CIA did, and they said they stopped. But I mean, they also said they stopped MK Ultra. Do you really think they stopped trying to make the perfect ultimate like sleeper soldier, super secret agent guy? No,
probably not.
If they could make a phone call and have this one rando guy that they MK Ultra brainwashed, call him up right before he goes into a room filled with international delegates that they have a problem with. Make a phone call and he's Flibberty Gibbet. And that's the secret. That's the trigger word. And he just goes in and mows down this whole room of people. Of
course they want to do that.
Yeah, they
want
want
to.
I mean,
like how stupid? We can't be that stupid.
No,
or that naive.
But the other project is Operation Mockingbird, and a lot of people said that
Operation Mindfuck.
Operation Mind Control. I mean, almost
some people
not quite to the level because I don't think they're using chemicals, even though there's fluoride in our water, which is supposedly making us more docile. That's another conspiracy theory. That's why we're drinking.
I was looking something today about China. I don't want to say China. I don't know, but it could be China.
China.
They are they control. No, it wasn't China. Was it? I can't remember. Controlling the weather.
Oh,
I know that sounds crazy, like they're controlling the weather, but also some Bill Gates and
we'll get
dimming the sun to try to reduce global warming instead of stopping our patterns. And I mean, holy shit!
No,
it's talking about like ejecting dust into the
atmosphere
to dim the sun.
Let's not do that.
Like,
Let's
I
not do
don't
that.
know how true that is, but if that's true, like, holy,
Conspiracy theorist.
yeah, that's fine.
Conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
Fake news. Fake news.
I
But-
don't care, man. That's
But Operation Mockingbird was the CIA was either making intelligence assets out of current reporters, or they were actually inserting actual CIA operatives into the media companies and into positions of power and control, or just being reporters. And they would control the narrative. They would never have any positivity coming out about communism. Not that I think communism is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying this is what has been purported to have been done.
right.
So you have CIA control, to at least partial control, over the news that is disseminated throughout America. Wow. How else do you control the narrative of something you're trying to cover up?
Well, that's literally mind control,
Mhm.
right down the line. Because once you absorb that information, you're just gonna repeat it over and over and over and over again. That's literally mind control. That's how the mind works.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna just recycle. You know, like
Yes.
that's how that works. So
Mhm.
that's mind control.
So that's the whole purpose behind doing a conspiracy theory season is, one, it's fun. It's really interesting and really intriguing. And no, not all conspiracy theories are created equal. Some of them are going to be really bad, like obviously terrible. And they might actually end up being true in the long run. We may never know.
Not in our lifetimes.
But I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to talk? Who at home hasn't listened to a true crime podcast or watched Investigation Discovery and watched this horrible, transaction of events and wondered what was that like?
Yeah.
Or if you stream Ozark, that's a completely fictitious show. And it's a fantastic writing, acting, directing, but it's completely false, but it's fun. That's what a lot of conspiracies can be, just that. They're just for fun.
And they can open you up to new stuff too. Like just to see, like, oh my God, like you might just energize a circuit in your head that you didn't have, just by being open to the idea that might be, oh my God, I can see that.
Yeah. Think and use your noodle.
It might spark your creativity a little bit.
Well, yeah.
And your imagination, if you have none.
Well, a lot of people, again, we are kept so distracted with all the media that we currently consume, whether it's your phone or whether it's the streaming services with your, massive binge watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't have time to be creative,
Mm-hmm.
because all we're doing is consuming. There's not so much creating for the majority of American citizens.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a way for myself, Jackson, the good Dustin, Trey, and Andrew to actually explore some ideas and thoughts and look at situations that we may not have even thought twice about.
Right.
So instead of accepting the first initial narrative, why not just go ahead and ask a couple of questions? Why can't we ask questions, world? Why is it not okay?
Do you know what's keeping you down?
Do you know?
Oh, it's gravity. It's gravity. Okay.
Or is it a simulation?
So
And gravity is a false
So
construct.
somebody knows
of it.
what it is. Okay.
Or is
Step
gravity?
up to the podium, boy. Tell us how it is.
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I have no idea. I'm gonna defer to science. Science on that one.
We think it's
We have scientists can disagree.
Shut up, Neville.
Okay. So yeah, welcome to season 2. And again, don't trust the government. Never trust the government. Whatever the government is doing, however bad you think it can be,
It's worse.
chances are it's about 100 times worse than we can think
It's
of.
worse.
So with that, thank you for joining, and stay tuned. The first episode of our conspiracy theory season is going to premiere just a second right now. Right now.
Don't be a dick.
Did you subscribe?